Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy. We're here with Will from Survivor Millennials versus Gen X.
Hi, Will. Thanks for speaking with us today.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Tell us how you were chosen to be on Survivor.
Yeah, so I submitted an application through the CBS casting website, and they just, I think they saw something in the confidence and the way that I carried myself, and it was just unique. What they described it as was unique to other teenagers who might apply. It was definitely something, the way I carried myself and the way I act is different than most teenagers.
What did you do to prepare once you knew you were going to be on?
Yeah, I definitely took swimming lessons because I did not know how to swim before I was taking some lessons. So that definitely was a crucial aspect. I also listened to a lot of podcasts. I would go to the gym every day, try to work out a little bit, but I didn't want to get too, muscular or anything. Didn't want to, make myself into a threat. Also, I'm not that kind of guy, I guess. I'm not built that kind of way. So I really was working a lot on more like cardio and things like that to try to build up my endurance. And also diet was a huge part of it, too. I wanted to try to gain as much weight as possible without that being a hindrance to my game.
We'd like to hear more about your feelings about Adam wasting his idol for Hannah when you had the votes to take out Zeke, and what was said back at camp about that.
Yeah, so when we first got back to camp, Brett and Sunday didn't even know I flipped. They thought that Adam just played the idol and that we had the votes to get out Hannah, but really I had flipped and voted for Zeke, and Adam had to go back and tell Brett and Sunday that actually had happened. And it's crazy to think that there was so much chaos and confusion going on at that moment, and it really was a situation where we had to figure out what was going on and how did the idol affect anything, and if so, how did it affect anything, and who flipped, and where are the votes now, and it was just a bunch of chaos.
Were you angry with Adam?
No, I was not angry with Adam at all. If anything, I was happy that he wasted an idol, and yeah, it might have took the spotlight off me a little bit, but it's all right. Somehow I don't really feel any animosity towards Adam at all. He played his idol, he wasted it, and I'm fine with that.
So tell us more about who took credit for some of your moves and what were those moves?
Yeah, I felt like I had more to do with the Michaela move than what a lot of people in the game were giving me credit for. Everybody was saying, oh, Jay took out Michaela, when really I thought that it was more of an equal decision between Jay and I. And that was a big one. Also, the other big one was with Zeke, and kind of like when Zeke and I were figuring out to vote out Hannah, that was something like a dual conversation that we were having that not a lot of people gave me credit for or anything like that. And I just felt kind of like the only reason that I was really upset about that was because when I would look at the jury, I would see the faces on the jury, and they weren't looking at me like a player. They were looking at me like a little kid. They were looking at me in a sympathetic way. And it's something where I started to get nervous. It wasn't so much about me being angry about people taking my moves. It was more so when I get to the end, how am I going to win this game if nobody gives me credit for anything? It was more frustration rather than anger.
Can you give us a short assessment of the final 6 players? Let's start with Adam.
Yeah, Adam is a very intelligent person. I think we've seen it, especially last episode. He organized Move to Get Me Out. He is very calculating, but he does it in a way where he can kind of hide behind other people that are bigger threats.
How about Brett?
Brett is a very funny guy. He's kind of like the class clown or the tribe clown or whatever you want to describe it as. He made us laugh when we were at our lowest lows, and he's a very good presence to have around camp. And I think that kind of player is underestimated because you're like, oh, they're not strategizing much, but yet everybody loves that person, and that is a scary person to take to the end.
What happened to the whole thing about him being a cop?
Yeah, some people freaked out about the cop thing. Personally, I don't care what other people's professions are outside the game. It's cool to talk about outside the game, but like in the context of the game, I don't care about people's lives out of the game. So to me, it never really mattered if Brett was a cop or not. It was interesting to find out about after the show, though.
What about David?
David is what people keep calling him as a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't really think of him like that because everybody knows of him as a wolf in sheep's clothing, which really just makes him a wolf. He really is a very calculating, very powerful player in the game that's really playing at full speed. He's just overall a very, very strategic player.
Hannah?
Hannah is The thing about Hannah is she has a very, very good strategic game. But at the same time, her social game is a little bit flat. People sometimes will look at her and be like, oh, that's just Hannah. But, they won't look at her as this strategic mastermind who's making these big moves. But I think, as we saw with the Sunday vote, Hannah was kind of spearheading that, and she was making a big move and being very strategic.
Jay
is just a very charismatic, nice, kind guy who everyone wants to be around. He's just a really nice guy that everyone wants to spend time with and basically just be your best friend. He's the guy who you want to be your best friend in the end.
And Ken's
a very nice guy. I think socially and strategically his games are a little bit rough, especially, at least from my perspective when he blew up my game. So it's definitely something where I'm a little bit weary, I guess, of Ken, but at the end of the day, he is a nice guy, and I think people do know that he's a nice guy, but his strategy and social gameplay can sometimes be a little bit of a hindrance to himself.
Describe what it was like winning the first individual immunity and getting to wear the necklace.
Yeah, winning the first individual immunity was a highlight of my game. I never imagined being able to actually accomplish that. It's pure insanity to me, because I would always watch that challenge as a kid, and I would always try to compete in it. I'd always keep my hand up, and I can never last about 5 minutes. And then to actually be on the show, compete in that challenge, and win it, it just blows my mind.
So on the opposite side of that, what's it like for you having Jeff yelling during the challenge that Will is stuck on the balance beam?
Yeah, I kind of drowned Jeff out for the most part. You can't really let him get inside your head. If you do, then you've already lost the immunity challenge. Balance beams were never my strong suit, so I kind of knew whenever there's a balance beam, I know I'm going to lose it. But it's something where, Jeff, you just got to ignore him during the challenges. You can't let him get to you like that.
Who are you planning to sit with at a final 3?
Brett and Sunday. Those were the 2 that I wanted to sit with.
Did Jay ever find out that you told Zeke he had an idol?
Yes, Jay did find out. I actually told pretty much everybody at Tribal at one of the Tribal councils that, I revealed that, and it kind of got exposed.
So were you surprised to see your name come up at Tribal?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised in the moment, but looking back on it, there were so many different signs and red flags that should have alerted me to the fact that I was going home that night. And it was a feeling, but it wasn't something that really, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the word here, that I really understood in the moment.
Was there anything else discussed at your last Tribal Council that we didn't get to see?
Not really. The main plan was to get rid of David, but for the most part, that was it.
Describe what it was like for you being on the jury, and were you surprised when you saw that they took out Sunday next?
Yeah, I was completely shocked that they took Sunday out. I thought David was going home for sure, and really just overall, this idea that David's been able to survive this long is really mind-blowing to me.
Was there anything else you wish had been shown about you that we didn't get to see?
No, overall, I thought the edit was fair. I thought that I really received a fair shake, and that most things were shown that should have been shown. So I'm happy with that.
Is there anything that you're having trouble letting go of? Anything playing over in your mind still?
No. For the most part, I've come to a resolution in my head. I think I can comprehend everything that's been going on, and I really do truly understand it now.
So who would you like to see win, and what criteria will you use to decide who you'll give the money to? I would love to see Jay win, although I do give strategic gameplay a lot of prevalence, and Jay maybe has not played the most strategic game, but certainly as a friend, I respect Jay, and I really do want him to win. Can you tell us some more about what it was like to be able to visit with your mom there on the island and what that meant to both of you? That was an extremely emotional experience, and it really did. It meant a lot to me as a fan of the show and as a player to get that opportunity to actually have that time out there with my mom and to be able to show her the camp and get a reward like that. It was great. What's it been like watching the show play out with family and friends? I actually have not been watching much of the show. It's very difficult to watch it when you're on it, but the episodes I have seen with family and friends, they've been great. They've been very supportive, and I get through it. Did you have any injuries or health issues while you were out there?
Personally, no. I was completely healthy the entire time. I never really had much of anything. I got scraped up, got a bunch of bruises, but that's normal in Survivor. Nothing out of the ordinary.
What did you see on TV that surprised you the most?
I think definitely Adam organizing the plan to get me out. That was definitely surprising to me.
What was your biggest challenge on the show?
Definitely the fact of going without food for so long. It's just something that, as a teenager, we're so used to eating food that it was really difficult to adapt to that.
How has your view of yourself changed after getting this opportunity to play?
I definitely feel like I'm a lot more compassionate now. I definitely feel like I can empathize with people more, and I feel like I definitely have grown as a person. And it's something that I just feel like overall I've become a better person because of this experience.
How has your view of Survivor changed?
I still think Survivor is the greatest show ever, and I'm still going to be watching next season and every season after that. Personally, though, this season was a little bit hard to watch, but that's just because I'm on it. I still love the show, and I respect the producers of it immensely.
So what were your proudest moments or moves in the game?
Definitely winning the immunity challenge was my proudest moment.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to your fans about yourself?
No, overall, that sums it all up. I really love this game, and I'm happy I got the chance to play it.
What's next for you?
Currently studying at The Ohio State University in political science, so we'll see where that takes me.
You got finals next week, right?
This week.
Oh, this week.
Oh,
wow.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Will, thank you for sharing with us today, and good luck to you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye.